Howdy. So, I'm Logan. I'm going to show y'all how to make some easy salsa. And it's a really good dish to make. So you're going to start off with a can of tomatoes. You can start off with like a normal size can, 16 ounces. Or in this case, I have a 28-ounce can of tomatoes. It really just depends on how tomatoey you want it. Secondly, you're going to need a can of Rotel. This is the easy way because you already got your green chilies and your diced tomatoes and such in here. So it's going to add that picante flavor that you're looking for in a salsa. And you're going to need some garlic. Usually minced garlic is better that you can buy at the grocery store, or since I don't have any right now, I'm going to use garlic salt, which is fine as well. Jalapenos, pickled, whatever brand you want, whatever spice level. You could get them hot, you can get them mild, it just depends on how spicy you'd like it. Tabasco just to heat things up, and then we're going to do half an onion. And so make sure that you peel off all the brown layers first, and you can throw that thing in there, the whole chunk, which I'll show you later. And finally, you're going to want some fresh cilantro, which you can get for about 95 cents at HEB. Just grab a bushel of it, and I'll show you how we do that later. So hit the... Alright, so I added the 28-ounce can of tomatoes into the blender already. Now you're going to want to add your Rotel, so go ahead and after you remove the lid, put it inside the can so you can strain it, because you don't want all that excess water that's in the can with it. You just want the hatch green chilies and the tomatoes themselves, because you don't want super watery salsa. So let's add this to the blender, and next we're going to add our onion and our other contents in a second. We're going to add our onion in, and we're using 1/2 of a white onion, and you're going to cut it in half and then set it in there. And it depends on how chunky you want your salsa to be. So if you want thicker pieces of onion, you can leave it more wholesome, like cut this into 2, or you can go ahead and dice it up yourself, put it in there, and the blender's going to make it even more minced. So I prefer to have a little more texture, chunkiness to my salsa, so we're just going to cut this in half and throw it in the blender. Okay, so we're going to do deli sliced tamed jalapenos, and you can just add these to preference. I like to do, I don't know, 20 slices worth or so. I like to have lots of jalapeno for that flavor in the salsa. And don't worry if you think you're overcrowding your blender, because it'll all blend and it'll look like salsa eventually. Now, Tabasco for the heat. Just make sure you get it in the bowl. And as I said earlier, this is off preference. Now we're going to do garlic salt. Don't do too much, you don't want it too garlicky, but just enough. And of course you can go back and add more of these ingredients if you feel it's not spicy enough, not sweet enough. If it's too soupy, you can strain it. Okay, and we're going to add a little bit of lime juice just for taste. Don't add too much because it can overwhelm the flavor. And now I'm going to show you how to wash cilantro. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and blend this before we put the cilantro in, because we want whole pieces of cilantro. That's how I prefer it. You can put the cilantro in before you blend, and it will be much more minced, but I like to have whole pieces of cilantro in there, which is this green relish right here. So this is also a banana pepper that my mother grew, and it's not very spicy, so I can put the whole thing in here and it's not going to hurt anyone. So let's go ahead and blend this up and look for that texture. And you don't have to run it very long, you can just put it on grate. And really just do it long enough to get the onion chopped up. Oops. Okay, now you're going to check the consistency with a spoon just to see how you're doing. And if you look, you can see it looks much more salsa-like. And yeah, I think that's some good consistency. So all we have left to do is we're going to add our cilantro, and I like to do about a handful. All you got to do is grab here and pull right off of the stem, and then you're going to take it under some tap water, and you're going to wash it just with your hand is fine. And so once you do that to the best of your ability, you're just going to dry it with a paper towel. So you can set it down here and just kind of pamper it, you know, beat it with your hands like you're playing patty cake with your ingredients. Okay, and once you got it dry for the most part, you kind of just want to rip it apart with your fingers. That's how I prefer to have it, because it adds good texture and crisp freshness to your salsa. Some people just like the leaves, so you can pull the leaves from the stems. It's much more time consuming. I prefer to have a thicker piece of it when I get some from my chip. And once you got that, you're going to return it to the pitcher that you're blending in. Or you can add it right before you serve, really. More ideal. And now finally, once you got your cilantro in here, you're going to add salt and pepper, to preference, of course, because this is all about how you like it. So we got this fancy pepper cracker. So add your salt and pepper to preference, and now really all you need to do is you can just stir it with a spoon or fork, and you can taste it right out of the blender to see if it's ready to consume. Make sure you bought some tortilla chips when you headed to the store. So the next step would be to either use a spoon to taste test to see what other ingredients you'd like, or just go straight at it with a tortilla chip so you can know exactly what kind of flavor you're looking for. So we'll come back and let someone taste test. We have my lovely assistant here, Cameron, with us, and she's going to try this salsa with her tortilla chip and let the world know what she thinks.
It's delicious.
Delicious. All right. So we have my salsa recipe. Ultimately, it's a ragtag group of ingredients, fairly simple to make, and takes little time at all. Thank you very much for watching. This is pretty spicy, but it's excellent. So, recommend it if you need to take an appetizer to a Halloween party. Who knows? Good luck, everybody.